Notice that so many of these solve for X questions are really going to come down to whether or not we choose to solve for X or whether we do some sort of strategy. So here, there's a lot we could do, but you got to be careful. Which of the following is a solution? We've seen equations that look like this before with these parentheses terms, and we know that the parentheses terms usually give us the solution. So a lot of you are going to pick -2 here. That's a big trap. You're just going to see that -2 would be like kind of the solution that would go with X plus 2 as a factor. The reason that doesn't work is the factoring only works when it's equal to 0. These equations are not equal to 0. They're equal to other factors, plus this, plus 10 there is kind of getting in the way. So there's a lot of stuff that is throwing off our normal way of doing things. But -2, -3, +2, +3, if you thought any of those could be the answers here, you're basically just robot brain. You're just kind of seeing those factors and you're just like, oh, that always gives me an answer. But it depends. The reason that works normally is we only have those things and it's equal to 0. This is more complicated. Here is where, I could do a bunch of things. I could go to Desmos if I wanted to. Maybe I'll do that at the end. But I like the fact that 0 is an answer, right? Because then if I do 0, this is just 2 times 3 is equal to -2 times -3 plus 10. So 6 is equal to 6 plus 10? No. How about 1? That's 3 times 4 is equal to -1 times -2 plus 10. So 12 is equal to 2 plus 10. Yeah, hey, what do you know? Done. Guess and check. Nice and easy. So that's probably where I'd go. Now, look, obviously, if the answer were like -5, it starts to get a little bit more tedious. But, I don't know. I think that a lot of times when we guess and check, some of the lazier answers tend to be right. So this is why I'm more trusting of that strategy, is I find that the worst fear of like, oh, the most annoying number being the right answer, I don't know. It doesn't really happen that often. So I'm fine with it. Let's do Desmos, though. We can also type this in, and we don't need to do anything other than just type it as is. So let's see if it works. We've got X plus 2 times X plus 3 equals X minus 2 times X minus 3 plus 10. Don't forget the plus 10. And we can tap it, and there it is, 1. Is that the only solution? Seems so. I thought there'd be more. Maybe there is if you solve it, because there's clearly X squareds here. So I don't know. I'm not going to bother solving it. It's involving foiling and then moving things around to get a nice quadratic that equals 0, and then factoring the normal way, and then getting answers there. But, what's the point? We already have the answer 2 different ways. I'm happy with both. They're both fast. Avoid algebra whenever possible. That's a good SAT strategy.